What's going on with this one? If anybody recognizes Ford Focus, it's going to be the 2014 Focus. It's the SE Flex Fuel. But what's going on is the car's stalling, and it's stalling for a reason I'm going to assume from what she described is going to be this purge valve here. How I concluded is, well, when she gets gas, it stalls. And if anybody knows, when you put gas in the car and close fill it up, put the cap back on, start it up, and it barely wants to start. Sometimes you start it up in the morning and you drive and it'll stall intermittently, run funny in some cases. Those are going to be vent valve symptoms normally. And what happens is the vent valve is getting stuck open. Let me get logged in my scan tool here. So if that purge valve is stuck open, it'll generate a vacuum leak. And when it is open like that, it pulls fuel, vapors, cause rich conditions. And I guess the computer don't know what to do because it's like, what's going on with this? It's a rich condition, plenty of fuel, and that'll create an environment for stalling. So while that's doing its thing, I will just give you a brief summary about what I checked originally. The car did have rich codes. It did have a purge valve code come up, but once I looked at the PID data, everything was fine. The car would run perfectly fine, but this is stationary. The evap system operates off of removing those vapors and re-emitting them into the engine. And when it does that, it can burn off those vapors and help with the emissions and possibly fuel economy. If it creates a richer condition, it can lean out the actual fuel mixture depending on the load there. So let me go to, let's see what codes are in the PCM first, and we'll address things accordingly. Retrieve continuous monitoring trouble codes. Now, there's a couple ways I can tackle this, and I'm going to basically do the basics. So there's no code right now. Now this doesn't have any history, so that's okay. So let's go to active test. I don't know which order I'm gonna go, but we're gonna test the purge valve and see if we have a good operation with that, and we'll put a test light to it and see if there's operation. I do have some specifications for resistance values, and who knows, I do have a new tool that I bought that just never used it. It's a vacuum, not a vacuum tester, but a smoke tester, and it was something a little simple. I was going to do a review on at some point in time. Evap purge valve duty cycle is here. No. All right. You know what? It'd probably be a good idea to go ahead and hook up that new tool I got, and I could administer some air pressure and see if we have any type of leaking going on as things start to go through that purge valve. I might do that. First, let me work on getting it out first so I can test it a lot easier. There's that green tab right there. We're going to take that out, and this follows all the way through to this purge valve here, and it loops around, if my light will catch it, to the back. Right there, it's another green tab. So I'm gonna remove all this, which I should just require me a flathead. Let me get one. All right, we're gonna get this. There's a lock on the bottom. I need to let me pull this air duct off right here, and we'll work on getting that out. I'm just going to take these basic things off. I know this flathead ain't gonna work, but it's kind of big. I need to get something smaller. Okay, better access. There's a clip at the base here. Pull that out. All right. So now I got it out here. I do the same thing for the other side. So like I said, there's a tab under the bottom. Move this lock. Uh-oh. You spread those wings, then pull it down, and then you push down on this. So what happens, it's in this lock position. Remove the tab, you can push down on this tab and pull it out. Quick connect. All right, let's get it. I thought I broke something. There was a vent for the transmission. I was like, damn it, boy, what the hell? Uh-oh. This Gentile. Alright. Here's a smoke machine I got off of Amazon here. Autoline Pro smoke tester. So, seems like it's pretty self-explanatory. You put your solution inside of there, hook it up to your air hose, and you got an air regulator here. And you can regulate your air from your actual air compressor because it don't require that much PSI. Probably think about 6 or so, something minute. You have your power here that goes to produce the smoke. This is my first time using this, and I'm gonna use the battery power from the vehicle here. So I'm gonna try to keep everything compact. Right. So this will go in there. It's got a indentation. Just line it up, slide it in. Now, from what I understand, this doesn't have any type of cycling. So once it produces smoke, you have to be very careful about letting it run dry, because it can damage the filament inside that produces the smoke. I guess the heating element. So I guess when you use it, you fill it up, then put the positive, negative on. So this should come with a hanger. Here it goes. Down there. I'm gonna let this hang from the ceiling of the car. All right. And my air compressor is going to go to the side there. Here's a solution. It did come with a small bottle. I'm going to put probably about half of it in there. So there's some smoke fluid. So let's see what that looks like. How do I open this thing? So I guess let's put that down. So this does this number. When it twists around, so that's the look on. That's how it looks on the inside. Okay, I guess so. We got a little wick here, so I'm assuming this helps prevent it from. I reckon it prevents it from burning out, but I mean, I'm pretty sure this wick does have a purpose with pulling the fluid through, so it'll heat it up and it'll produce a smoke. So I'm pretty sure it serves two purposes. That's the first thing I think of. Oh gosh, it was leaking. Is this? Let me get some gloves. All right, we're gonna pour a little bit in there. Like the whole thing. I guess you gotta check it periodically. It's not that much. I should have bought a bigger bottle. That was my fault. All right, it's got a nice seal on here on top of it. So let's put it back on, twist it around, lock it into place. Where's that lock at? Oh, it's on the opposite side there. Move dummy. There we go. Twist it. Lock it. All right. Hang it in the vehicle. And I'm going to get I'm going to put this battery, these alligator clips on battery here. It's pretty accessible. So when I get ready to use it, I'll hook it up to the positive there. So I got my negative installed in the back. Alright, this is going to be a lot of stuff sitting around. It's sitting on the wiper blade. Just want to hook it up. I'm very impatient, so I'm going to hook it up right here. How long it takes to produce some type of smoke. Even though I know I have my compressor hooked up, but it's going to come out of here. So. Oh look, oh wow, already, it ain't been but 30 seconds, so it's already producing smoke. Cool. And the wind's blowing, the fan's blowing, so I can see it. You can see it through there. Alright, so it's moving along. So I'm using the hose here that it came with, and I came with like a couple fitments, a fuse, I don't know what this marble's for, I don't know, and I guess another multi-faceted fitment, and it does come with something for the actual fitting for the evap, which is great. So you can hook that up, and you could probably use this tool here to connect to it and put the hose on the back of it so it'll work with the evap system. Cool. But I'm gonna go with this one that it came with. I can seem like I can. I do have something I could probably install really quick for a quick connect, but I want to save some time. If I have to, I'll do it. But I'm going to utilize what I got here and rely on the air pressure to feed it through. So let me hook up my air compressor. All right, air compressor's hooked up to 6 psi. Oh, there we go. It's working. I'm gonna turn my air compressor down a little bit more, but I don't want to use too much. All right. Whew. All right, glad I got the fan on here. So, really quick, we're going to use the scan tool. I'm gonna try to be as basic as I can, but I want to use the scan tool first. And oh, look at that! Already, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be in an off state, and here it is already leaking out. So, I mean, this is obvious. This purge valve is defective. So it's already obvious that it's defective. It's supposed to be off, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be closed, from what I understand. So, but let me command it. I'm going to go through the scan tool and command this on. I'm on the feature now. Let's see if we can get this down here. Command this on about 50%. Oh shit! Duh! I don't even have the damn thing hooked up. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. All right, let's get this. Okay, let's see if we can get all this together. All right, so now we're hooked up. I'll try to put this in. No, which way I want to go? Gotta make this work out. So we can look at. There we go. I want to have it on the other end here. So you can see the smoke coming out from over there in the back. All right, I'm going to go ahead and command the purge valve pulse width modulation to about 50%. It's 60. Now, if this was supposed to naturally be off, then at 100% it should be completely closed, not open. Still coming out. Let's take away. So yeah, even at 100%, it's not even working. 70%, it doesn't even do anything. It's still open. I hate to say it, but I'd rather go ahead and put a new one on here. I mean, it's not supposed to be doing that. I mean, naturally, in a relaxed state, this solenoid is supposed to be off. But even if you, how can someone test this if they didn't have this scan tool? I mean, I do recommend everyone, I guess the mechanics out there get a bidirectional scan tool. It's very necessary for these issues. What you could do is drive the vehicle, and what happens after you achieve a certain speed is going to command, or a certain temperature is going to command this evap purge solenoid to operate. Now, once it starts, let me turn this. It's at 100. Let me turn it down from 100%. Let's see. Still coming out. So that's it. What happened? smoke dwindled. I wonder. Smoke slowed down. It's warm in there. That's strange. It's not as strong as it once was. Let me see if it's because of my air. Yeah, I think with my air, a regulator. Okay. So, all right. Strange is now since I got it hooked up, it seemed to have slowed down now. I think it's the damn thing got to be intermittent. Okay, so it's working now. Let me back out and shut it off. That's strange. Let me tap on it. You know, and sometimes what could happen, this solenoid could just go out because of it just gets stuck in a particular position because it's constantly activating thousands and thousands of times through the course of the day. Sorry, I didn't know it was off the screen there. See, it's stuck right there. I'm gonna cut it all the way off, see what happens. Okay, it closed. I felt it closed in. All right, let's do a resistance check and see if it's within specification. I want to get a temperature test. Also, I just cut it off. It's at 102 degrees. Now my battery's about to die. 99, 100. So, whew, it is a little warm though. I feel like it's hotter than that. About a heating element. So 110 was the hottest. So yeah, that's what temperature it is. And I just disconnected it like 60 seconds ago. All right, got the Fluke, and we are going to do our resistance test. I got it on mega ohm, but we're going to change that to a ohm scale. So it's not going to be on kilo or mega. We're going to leave it on regular ohm. It's going to be on a hundredths scale. There we go. I'm going to test my connection, make sure we're good. So yeah. Yep, we're good. All right. Get my connections going on. Now it's supposed to be between 13 and 24 ohms. 13 and 24. So we're at 17 right now. Now, despite this car having just intermittent issues, luckily I was able to catch this problem like when it happened with the smoke tester. So I'm still going to replace this because it's getting stuck open, and in its natural state it's supposed to be closed. So I'm going to replace this anyway, and I wouldn't mind just even getting when I do get the new one, do another ohm test and see what that one's coming up with. So more than likely, this solenoid here at some point in time is just getting stuck open, and that's why when she put gas in the car, it'll stall, or while she's driving, it'll cut off, because you saw what happened. Even when we commanded this unit like 60%, it just stopped. It didn't want to work, you know, so it just stayed open. So when she would slow down, it would create a vacuum leak or cause excessive fuel consumption through this evap system. because when you're decelling, you're in vacuum, and you're coming to a stop, it's going to detect that vacuum leak instead of closing or going through its pulse width modulated state, or lowering the pulse width modulated state, so it'll stay closed longer. So that's why you get the stalling condition. So I'm going to get a new one, put it on there, and we can vacuum test a new one, and also do a resistance test on the new one also. So we're going to do that. I'm going to go to O'Reilly's now and get our new part. While it's fresh on my mind, because I want to do the basic circuit test with the key on, engine off, and I want to show the resistance value of the circuit here. What the fuck was that noise? Something made some crazy noise. So we need to test for 12 volts. The key on, engine off. This should display 12 volts on one side, but from what I understand from basic circuit testing, I should be able to probe both of these and answer two questions at the same time and get a voltage reading. And I'm wrong, so it's okay. Unless I didn't completely get down in there. Let me get some pins. Okay, let me put these pins in there. All right, let's see what I got now. Now, again, I assume that I should have. Oh shit! I don't want those two to touch. Oh boy! All right, I should have a reading. All right, so I do have a voltage reading there. It's nothing crazy, but it's going to be low because that switching circuit has a resistance value. Normally they're about 2 ohms, 2K ohms. Let me find a switching circuit and ground that out with the body. Oh shit. So, well, that's good because you see now we got 12 volts. So this is technically the 12 volt side. So I'm on voltage still, and on the green and white wire, this is the constant 12 volts with key on, engine off. Now this should be my switching circuit, the one that has the high resistance. When I put it on battery positive, I shouldn't get like 12 volts. It shouldn't be that. So there we go. We got 8 volts on that one. All right. But when I go to resistance, I should get like a 2K ohm, something like that. It varies. It ranges. Auto range. Auto. And this is much. It's 20K ohm. Not getting anything. Well, like I said, normally, but so right here I got 18 mega ohms. So like I said, certain switching sides are going to be different. I mean, this was the older circuit I'm referring to anyway, so normally it'll go up there, but I got it on auto scale. So at least we got some numbers. We know what it's supposed to be. This is a working circuit. And again, it's a switching side, so that transistor inside that computer has to command it on and off, and it goes through various circuits, the ground side switch. So it's all right, you know. I'm not the smartest person in the world. That's why I do this test. So to go back before I go run and get my part, the basic test for this to answer if there's a complete circuit here, being that we know there's going to be resistance on the switching side, is connect the voltmeter to both pins and see if you get a voltage value. Again, it's going to be low because there's resistance on the side. It's not a straight up ground or have low ohms. So therefore we're going to have a voltage, but it'll be low. That doesn't indicate there's a problem. It just indicates that this is a switching circuit, therefore the low voltage. But I just want to do something, just do that right quick, just for those who are planning on doing this preliminary test for their stalling conditions with their Ford Focus. So let me go run and get my part now. Got the new part, got something brand new. I ain't gonna use this bracket, the bracket that came with it. Looks perfectly fine. We're going to smoke test this and do a bench test while it's out. But first, we are going to compare the resistance value. Resistance do change somewhat during warm temperatures and room temperatures. So we're going to get a comparison with these two. Alright, so we got the new one and the old one. What in the world is going on with that? What's going on here? Okay. Test. Alright. Alright, let's test the new one. This is pretty cold though. We have a value of 16.2. And the old one here was at 17. Still at 17. Now the thing is, I mean, this is aftermarket. This is, they are going to give you different readings. All right, let's get the, now this is it, it's natural state. I'm going to go ahead and get this plugged back up. My smoke tester. Wait on this. All right, we got smoke. Here's a new one. First time testing it, so let's see what happens. All right, nothing is coming out the top there. I ran out of memory there. So here's the front here. Now, let me go back the other way. So this is where it's going to the gas tank. We got nothing. Nothing's coming out. So it is natural state. It's supposed to be a sealed system. So basically the pintle or that little solenoid inside is going out. Where's the old one at? Can't see nothing. Let me go back and retest this. So I'm gonna put that back in there. So this is cooperating now. Taps. Let's see what happens. That's the old one here. So, all right, it's sealed. The new one's sealed, and I guess we got lucky when we found out that the new one, I'm sorry, the old one wound up being defective. So at its natural state, it's supposed to be closed. This one wasn't closed. So we're going to get the new one installed once I get this smoke off. And should we pulse width modulate the new one? See the sound difference? Let's do that. Hook this back up. This smoke stinks. That. So we're going to the console. Get some of this stuff out of the way. All right, let's command the duty cycle. Before now, it wouldn't work right after 60%. Get in there. All right, so we got smoke here. Now I'm at 40%, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100% is going to be fully open, 90, 100% fully open. Now remember, the other one would not even go beyond 60%. It would just like fuck it, I'm not working. It would stop. So this is even more confirmation with the new one. I can command 100% duty cycle. It'll operate. I can even go above the threshold of the old one, which was 60%. It still operates normal. So I'm at 80% now. We got full operation. So we're good. I feel really good about this. So everything's relaxed, everything's in place. And let's get the air intake tube back on. Cool. That's it. If there was any codes, then yeah, you would clear them out. This didn't have any check engine lights on or anything, and so we should be good to go. We're good. I want to test drive this car, make sure it don't stall anymore. Because literally, when she left here 2 days ago, when I checked it out initially, when she left, it started stalling, which makes perfect sense because, like I said before, the evap system will start to send a pulse width modulated signal to the purge solenoid, and once you start driving, some instances it'll do it while it's idling. It depends on a few various conditions what the manufacturer recommends. But she left, it stalled when she got to a light. This explains why. This is a common symptom. It could generate a vacuum leak, and it would also cause these rich conditions, which she was experiencing a while ago when I initially scanned the vehicle for codes. So don't change the wideband or oxygen sensor upstream. Don't change the mass airflow sensor. Follow the trail there based off of what the customer states. So if there's anything else, I'll update. But other than that, this car was pretty obvious that we found the issue. There was no wideband issue, no mass airflow issue, no overall no overall rich codes as a result of any other thing but that purge valve there, despite having a code the first time and not having a second time. But it was an overall rich condition. And from my instance, looking at the freeze frame, it didn't reflect any type of consistent conditions. It's like when I look at the sensors while idling, there was no rich conditions. The fuel trims were totally normal. So it makes sense that this was the issue, and obviously saw it. So yeah, but I tell you what, if this doesn't work, the customer calls back complaining, demanding her money back, O'Reilly's part failed, and I look like a freaking fool, you're not going to know because you're not subscribed. Hit that link, stay informed, have that reassurance of my work. All right, so on to the next one.